How are you going to use your resources, and do you have enough resources to do what you were planning?
It's premature for us to conclude that we don't have enough resource, because I don't think we've made the most of the resource that we've got. So the piece of work that's just been completed, which is the review of compliance and enforcement, that'll make some recommendations to us about a level of resourcing of our inspection work and our investigation and prosecution work. And we will seek to resource that by moving people across the organisation. I don't think it's appropriate for us to go asking for more resource until we've made better use of what we've got. We've got fantastic people who work here, the best I've ever come across. We believe that we need to make sure that they are being directed at those core functions of the organisation first. Now, my experience has been in running a place like this that as you seek to, progressively do more of that core work and give people some confidence that their environment, and in our case their livelihood, is being protected, then there will be resources available, because that's a really valued thing by the community. And look, we've already seen evidence of that. We've tried to go out and tackle some long-standing problems for the community. Brooklyn's the most obvious example, where we have literally drawn a line in the sand and said we're not leaving that precinct until those people can breathe easier. We've moved from a situation where the community was extremely antagonistic towards us to one where we are working with the community to put the pressure on the businesses there to make sure that they lift their game and meet those standards. And we'll see more of that as we get on with it, I've got no doubt.
So it goes without saying that there'll be more prosecutions?
Well, I think, as I've said, and this is something which attracts some angst, but we've been, the actual level of prosecutions in court has been about the same for the last 5 or 6 years. It's a low number comparable to other regulatory organisations.
What's the number, just out of curiosity?
We've been doing about 10 prosecutions a year. I think we did 12 in the last financial year. It's evident that the review that we're doing will recommend that we be able to resource a higher level than that. And it's not about having a target for prosecution numbers. Personally, if the environment's fantastic, I'm happy to prosecute nobody. There's no number that we go after. There's nothing in the way in which I'm employed that says you must do X number of prosecutions. I'm employed to deliver a good environment, an environment that is protected and cared for. If it is, I'll go around handing out cakes and cups of tea to people. But the fact is, it's not, and it's nowhere near good enough for me. And I intend to use the regulatory role that we have been given by the community in an appropriate way until such time as we see that level of environmental outcome that the community expects.
I know businesses are freaking out about this idea that you guys are coming after them. Do they have reason to be?
They don't. The simple fact is that in the state of Victoria, we have to work for a living. We can't just dig our wealth out of the ground. We're a great place to visit, but tourism isn't sort of the anchor of our economy. This is a place where things are made, where services are provided, and we need really great businesses to come here, to stay here, to invest, and to work profitably. And my experience as a regulator is that really good businesses need a fantastic regulatory framework in which to operate, one which is first and foremost predictable, where the standards are reasonable and everybody knows what to expect if you don't meet them. My job is simply to provide that, a regulatory framework where people know what to expect. Now, what I've picked up is a situation where they don't know what to expect, and where there's a perception that there's not an adequate consequence for those very, very small number of organisations at the margin who might seek to get away with something. Well, they won't be getting away with that into the future. And those organisations who want to invest in the sorts of technologies and infrastructure that you need to, you know, to move to a zero waste outcome, to deal with the contaminated lands that we've got, to manage the waste that we've got, those organisations will be able to do so and work to you know, the sort of ethical standard that they aspire to, and to make a margin which is reasonable to justify the investment.